Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rich Gossenbeek. I'm one of the co-founders of Exact Contact. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. And our topic for our session is, which agent persona are you, and how does that impact your success? This is me. I'm your presenter. I'll give you my contact info at the end again. We only have 10 minutes, so I'm going to move pretty quick. What's our agenda? So some of you may have heard of agent personas, but I'm guessing most of you won't. So we're going to talk about what are they and why do they matter. That's going to segue into a discussion around the problem with online lead gen and why it doesn't work for 93% of agents. Then, of course, the question is, well, what does work for the vast majority of agents? We'll cover that off. I'll give you a little 20-second introduction to Exact Contact, and then we'll talk about next steps. So the 4 agent personas. Now, I should mention, by the way, 2 things. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Q&A box. Shannon McGee is helping me out today with the Q&A. But 4 agent personas. So this research was done by T360. So T360, if you haven't heard of them, they're probably the largest and most respected consulting firm and research firm in the real estate space today. And they were trying to understand, there's something like 1.4 million realtors in North America, 2 million licensed real estate sales professionals. And the question was, how do we understand these people? And they wanted to create an agent persona map. So we looked at 2 key dimensions to try and sort of, as a way of breaking agents down into different personas. And one question they asked is, how do agents like to sell? Do they like to sell directly, meaning they're talking to people one-on-one, whether it's over the phone, face-to-face, but they're speaking with individuals, and that's how they generate their leads? Or do they work more through indirect selling or marketing? They take more of a marketing approach. And then the other dimension from left to right is whether they're direct selling or sort of marketing selling. What are they generating? Are they generating cold leads, meaning leads from strangers, or do they tend to generate warm leads? So they're leads that come from their network or their sphere in some form or other. And then based on those 2 dimensions of direct selling versus indirect selling and cold leads versus warm leads, they came up with 4 personas: the prospector, the converter, the networker, and the marketer. So the prospector, key practices. Well, basically, this is the old school realtor that's been around for the last 50 years, whatever. This is the got to make my 100 cold calls a day. It's all about the cold calling. It's a discipline, and so on. Converter, very much like the prospectors, happy talking to strangers, but they use more of a marketing approach. So key practices for them are really, it's all about instant responsiveness. If you generate a lead, respond instantly. Voracious follow-up. The organization is critical. And then managing your leads, because often the converter generates a lot of leads. So managing them and then measuring the metrics around quality and cost per lead is key, because often they spend a lot of money. Networkers are a little different. They like working with people. They like direct selling like the prospector, but they don't like direct selling to strangers. They like direct selling to basically their network. And they're all about relationship building, community involvement, and staying in touch with their sphere of influence and growing it. The marketer also likes to work with people that are somehow in their sphere or in their ecosystem, but they tend to position themselves as an expert in something. Or talk to me. I'm the expert in golf course living in Southeast Houston, or the expert in coastal living, in wherever. So for them, their brand is very key. It's all about sort of messaging. They do a lot of marketing, but they're still generating leads from within their network or their ecosystem. So what are their key requirements? Well, as you might guess, key requirements are very different. So what does the prospector need? He needs lists, right? Lists of expires, lists of FSBOs, a good auto dialer so they can churn through their 100 calls pretty quickly, a pretty basic CRM. It's really a follow-up system, contact management / follow-up system. They do some direct mail, and so on. The converter needs a budget. These tend to be the high-end agents, often teams, that are really driving a lot of lead gen. Either they're buying leads or they're running their own advertising programs on Facebook ads and Google PPC and so on. So they need a website that's a real squeeze page conversion website. They need a good lead gen CRM. It's all about that lead capture, lead follow-up, and so on. And they need a religious commitment to the system, right? The network is very different. Networker needs definitely a basic CRM. It's really not so much basic, but it's a CRM that's all about their sphere. Usually email marketing is important, and a good keep in touch system, something that tells them day by day who they need to speak with, right? They probably also need a good website to build their brand, but it's not a lead gen squeeze page like these guys tend to need. right? Social media is important because they're networkers, right? So they network and they build their brand on social media and so on. The marketer, as I say, it's not just about their brand, but it's about their specialization, their positioning. So CRM and email marketing is really key for them. Lead capture tools, lots of content's a big theme for these guys, and social also is important for them. So, well, we're going to go back up. So then the question becomes, this is interesting, and I know I'm going faster. You can get copies of my slides at the end. But the question becomes, well, how, if you look at the 2 million real estate licensed real estate people in North America, how do they fall across these 4 agent personas? And this part might surprise you. So it turns out from the research T360 did, about 7% are prospectors, 7% are converters, and the other 86% are some blend of networker and marketer agent personas. So why does this matter? I would suggest to you that as an agent, you need to understand your persona, your agent persona, so that you can align your business strategy, your approach, how you spend your time and money with what actually works for you. When you're in alignment with your persona, everything just flows. You're in flow, as the expression, right? Business comes to you more naturally, more easily, and you just feel good. Like you like getting out of bed in the morning. You look forward to going to work. You just feel good about yourself and your chosen career. When you're not in alignment with your agent persona, if you're a networker and you're trying to act like a converter, everything is tough. Everything is a challenge. Getting out of bed is hard in the morning because business is a struggle. And you feel, the feelings that you feel through the day are things like fear, anxiety, frustration, and overall you feel kind of negative about being a real estate agent. So my question for you is, ask yourself, how are you feeling, right? Are you feeling like you're in alignment, in flow, or not? And this also then sort of takes us into what I call the strange paradox of real estate sales. Certainly today, and I would say the last couple of years, there's been this weird paradox, and which is this: the industry is consumed with online lead gen. It dominates everything. It dominates the headlines on Inman, all the new tech coming out. Most of it's all about lead gen and lead nurture and predictive analytics and so on. It dominates brokerage, focus, and investment. Yet only 7% of all agents are wired to succeed at the online lead gen game. 7% are converters. So where does that leave the other 93% of agents? But the problem is actually even worse than that. The harsh reality is that less than 1% of all online leads actually close. In reality, it's just 1 in 153. So it's 0.65 of 1%. It's well less than 1%. 1 out of 153 online leads close. And most of the online leads that do close are closed by a select few agents and teams that are hyper-focused and hyper-optimized on the converter business model. Yet many brokerages make lead gen their focus for attracting and retaining agents. That leaves the vast majority of their agents that they're trying to keep and attract sort of out in the cold. So that's what I call, sort of the paradox of real estate sales today. There's also, once you understand agent personas, it also solves a bit of a mystery. Many brokers I talk to are frustrated with the poor job that their agents are doing. With they're generating leads for their agent, and whether it's them giving their agents leads or the agents doing their own lead gen, they're doing a poor job, right? Slow response, poor follow-up, no follow-up. I hear it all, and it doesn't seem to matter what the broker does, how hard they push, how much training they provide, the tools they provide. This doesn't seem to change. So the result for these poor brokers is they're getting a really terrible ROI on the leads. If they're paying for leads for their agents, they're getting a poor ROI on those, and also they're getting a very poor ROI on the lead gen oriented CRM that the broker provides, if they're providing one. I'm talking to brokers that are seeing less than 10% agent adoption, sometimes less than 5%, right? But if you understand agent personas, this mystery is explained. Brokers have been asking their agents to do a job that most are completely unsuited and unequipped for. The good news is there is a better way. And let me just emphasize, online lead gen is important, but it's important for a small subset of agents for whom it's the mainstay of their business, right? But as a broker, as an agent, first of all, you've got to make sure you're in alignment with your persona and are providing yourself with the right tools. But also as a broker, you need to make sure that you're providing the 86% of your agents who are networkers and marketers with the tools that can help them to succeed, right? And for these agents, the most important tool is CRM, and not just any CRM. Networkers and marketers need a CRM that is focused on how they do business. So they need a CRM that can help them to expand their sphere. keep in touch, stay top of mind with past clients, hot prospects, long-term prospects, in the right way, and with important referral sources. You need a CRM that helps them to build relationships, and bottom line, most importantly, helps them grow their referrals and repeat business from a loyal and expanding clientele. And that's my segue into my 20 seconds on Exact Contact. Exact Contact is an all-in-one real estate CRM and keep in touch system that's easy, intuitive, and affordable. Most importantly, it's designed specifically for networker and marketer agents. Our mission is very simple. We exist to help agents to become the real estate professional that past clients remember and refer, and prospects choose to work with. So next up, let me just do a quick time check here. Yeah, I'm right on. So next steps, this is my last slide. 3 things. Number 1, think about your agents and map them against the 4 agent personas. What percentage of your agents fall in each? And be realistic with yourself. You don't have to go individual by individual, but you know at a gut level how your agent, how they do business. So map them, right? Number 2, evaluate the tools, the technology training you're currently providing. Are you providing the tools that will help all your agents, or the majority of your agents, or just a select few? And lastly, number 3, step 3, if there is a mismatch between what you're providing and what your agents need, and you're going to see it in the poor ROI you're getting on your leads, in the low adoption of the CRM, the lead gen CRM you provided them with, then the solution could range from a complete CRM replace or to something like a complementary CRM. So you keep the lead gen CRM for those that are getting an ROI with it, but you provide something more like a sphere-focused CRM to those agents who need it. So thank you very much. I hope you found this 10 minutes useful. If you'd like copies of the slides or a link to this recording, just reach out to me if you want to talk about Exact Contact, but we might help you as an agent or your brokerage. We'd love to chat with you. But I think my 11 minutes is up, and thank you all for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bye.